Hey guys, I want to give this a very short video, but I wanted to actually record this on X, but I'm actually going to add up some titles, and I want to share it on YouTube as well, because I realized that I haven't updated a video to YouTube for I don't know, 6 months or something. So I'm going to actually release this as a video to YouTube, but I wanted to give a little snapshot of why I'm pretty bullish right now. Uh, and just give a little presentation on kind of where I see the market right now. Um, so uh, let's do that. Okay. So let me pull this aside, actually, like this. Um, so the first thing I'll notice is there's just a lot of people that are very, very bearish. An example would be, and I just picked a few examples, but James Wynn saying, I'm shorting the market with size. I don't believe the Sunday pump. Low volume pump to full retail, big week ahead, big flush out, brokies win. So there's a lot of that going on. Another example is Peter Brandt. Bitcoin's broadening top pattern sparks 50% decline warning from veteran trader. So a lot of these kind of market timers are going negative, and they're sort of saying this is just a terrible time to put your money to work. Here's an example. Last one. This one's the most bearish. I sort of pulled it. Somebody did a grok search and goes, it seems likely that Bitcoin will experience a severe bear market in the coming years, potentially similar to the 2022 cycle, with drops of 65% to 80%. This cycle top has been achieved at 123,000 July 14th, based on recent market data. I don't know. The evidence leans towards Bitcoin dropping to between 24,000 and 43,000 during the bear market, with lows occurring in late 2026 or early 27. Now, all of this really boils down to there's this belief that we had 3 years up, one terrible year down. And we have that now. We've had that for, this is the third time this is coming around, right? So everybody's assuming, we had the great year in 2013. We had the great year in 2017. We had the great year in 2020, 21. And now we're going to have this just absolutely horrible, cataclysmic year in 2026. And it really boils down to this. There's this kind of cycle math that everybody's quoting. And they're saying from 2015, from the all-time low of 2015, the all-time high of 2017, there was exactly 1,064 days. Then we had this bear market, which is 364 days. Then from 2018 to 2021, the all-time low, 164 days. And now from the all-time low of 2021 to the all-time high of 21 to all-time low of 2022, 364 days. So if you believe that the world works like this, you would think that from the all-time low of 2022, which was almost at the exact end of 2022 till now, on October 6th, we would hit our all-time high. Okay. Now, we'll see. A lot of people believe this. And because a lot of people believe this, the fear and greed chart. Now look at this fear and greed index. It got into this sort of extreme fear level back in April. Now look how well correlated. Oh, sorry. Let's go back to here. You have this very well correlated between the price of Bitcoin and the fear index. So here we have the price of Bitcoin dropping all the way almost to 75K, and the fear index just getting really in extreme mode, right? That was right around the tariff announcement. And then, of course, we had them both kind of go up. We kind of got into greed mode with the fear and greed indicator going up to greed mode and Bitcoin price rising, right? But since July, we've had these two things, the Bitcoin price doing pretty much nothing and the fear level just getting worse and worse and worse, right? So I think we've had this fear panic level. And it's just getting really extreme, right? And it almost got into the red. Let's go back to look at exactly when that happened. That was in like 6 days ago. Now, big bull market moves in Bitcoin almost always come from extreme fear, right? So when you get that number, that greed fear indicator in the 20s or even in the teens, that's when you get the rallies that really can happen. I had some data on this. I didn't pull it for this little presentation, but I really think this move here, right, could be the beginning of a really big move up. That's kind of my feeling. You want everybody to be a disbeliever. You want the James Wins to short the market. You want everybody to believe in the cycle theory. Now, why am I not concerned about this? Well, my main reason is interest rates. Now, current rates are 4%. On Wednesday, those rates are going to go down to 3.75%, 3.75, with 97% probability according to CME futures. On December 10th, we have another 96% chance. Okay, so now we're going down to 3.5%. Now, I tend to think that we're going to get a third cut here. And so does Polymarket, by the way. The odds of 3 cuts in a row here are high. But the CME is saying this third cut is sort of a coin toss, 50-50. But I will argue that at this point, we have no meetings until May. And then we have Powell is out in May. Okay. So what do they do? I think they're going to cut 50 basis points in their first meeting. This is going to be a very, very dovish person. They're going to make a very strong opening statement. They're going to cut 50. That brings us to 275. I'm not alone in this. You got people like Paul Tudor Jones who's talking about interest rates with a 2 handle. And before Joe Carlosali knocks me by saying I'm saying 2%, I'm saying with a 275. I think this time next year we'll be in the 2. We could be at 2.5. We'll probably be actually at 2.5 or 2.25 this time next year. The other thing, sort of why I think these interest rates are going down, midterms are coming up. Okay, November. And Trump has to give these interest rate cuts time to work through the economy so that everybody reelects the Republicans in Congress. So I think these rate cuts are very significant. And I would argue that the rate cuts are one of the things that killed the bull market. Obviously, there was other criteria, but it's not halvings. There's no mysterious law that says these things have to be 1,100 days, and then we go into a bear market. That's just, you're trying to find patterns that don't exist. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. Let's see if I have anything else on this. And then the additional job drivers are job losses in government. You know that there's a lot of people who are going to get furloughed right now. Those jobs are not coming back. And AI over the next 6 months is going to start taking its toll. Companies are not going to be hiring. They're going to be, in many cases, replacing people with AI, even over the next 6 months. The stablecoin bill is going to start rolling through. We have banks that are going to start making announcements about supporting Bitcoin. And we have the wirehouses like Goldman and Morgan Stanley that are going to start accepting Bitcoin ETFs. So that's all I got for you in terms of presentation. But my gut feel is these drivers are enough to get us quite a bit higher from where we are by mid next year. So we're at 114, 115. This could double or triple, between now and the mid next year. And I do think we could get Josh Mandel's 444 sometime next year. So I think we're looking at a double absolute minimum between the next 12 months. And it could be higher. It could be a triple, could be quadruple. Lots of great things happening. The setup looks really, really good. And that's really kind of all I got for you guys. All right. I will talk to you guys later.